Max Verstappen has managed to win everyone's heart during this Formula One season. His performance has been incredible, with some saying it's among the best of the best. Could Verstappen really be the best driver in F1 history? Let's take a closer look. He's only 24. With all of Max Verstappen's achievements, it's almost easy to forget he's only 24 years old. The Belgian-Dutch racer started racing in 2014, back when he was just 17 years old. He went on to become the youngest full-time racer in the history of Formula One. Despite already being one of the greatest racers in the world, his young age means that he has plenty of time to grow as a driver, learn different tracks and their features, learn from his own experience, and simply mature over time. Lewis Hamilton is considered the greatest racer in the world right now, and he's 36 years old. Most of Hamilton's achievements are from when he was in his 30s. Other legends like Michael Schumacher also had the peaks of their careers in their late 20s or early to mid-30s. For a driver to be this good, this young, has been almost unheard of before, and it just goes to show the kind of potential that Max Verstappen has. On top of that, Verstappen has improved his driving skills for almost every single season since he first started playing, and the improvement has been almost exponential. He won as many races this season as he did in all 5 of the previous seasons combined. His racecraft. Max Verstappen knows exactly where he belongs when he's racing, and that's in front of everyone. If you take a look at any of the races from this year, you'll almost feel weird if Verstappen isn't in the front of the race. Christian Horner once said that it's not a matter of if, but when Max Verstappen will overtake you. The way Max maneuvers his vehicles in overtakes is absolutely incredible. He might be better at overtaking than any other racer on Earth. Sure, there have been some incidents where it didn't quite work out, such as the race where he crashed into Hamilton, retiring both of them from the race. But I think this has more to do with Verstappen and Hamilton being almost inseparable on the track. The F1 managing director, Ross Brawn, has also commented that he is absolutely mesmerized by Max Verstappen's racecraft, adding that it's infectious. He noted that Max had all the other drivers on the edge of their seats during the 2021 French Grand Prix, and because of him, they were forced to maintain a pace that they knew they couldn't keep up. He was so vicious that no one wanted to take the risk in pit because, in the blink of an eye, Max would be zooming past them. He's already breaking records. Despite being only 22 years old, Max Verstappen is already breaking world records. To be fair, most of these records do have something to do with his age, but nonetheless, they're all impressive. During the 2015 Australian Grand Prix, Verstappen became the youngest person in history to start a race at a Grand Prix event. Being only 17 years old, he ended up retiring in the race, but he still had an incredible showing. During the 2015 Malaysian Grand Prix, he finished in 6th place, earning 6 points and becoming the youngest person ever to earn a point during a Formula One event at 17 years old. When he was 18, he became the youngest person ever to win a Grand Prix event during the 2016 Spanish Grand Prix. During the same event, he became the youngest person to score a podium finish and the youngest person to ever lead a lap. During the 2016 Brazilian Grand Prix, he became the youngest person to ever have the fastest lap of a race. During the 2021 Austrian Grand Prix, Verstappen became the youngest person ever to score a Grand Slam, which means he started a race from podium position, led every single lap of the race, and also had the fastest lap of the race. Verstappen, being only 24, has joined the likes of Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel among people who have scored a Grand Slam. He's the world's top-ranked racer. We can talk all we want about Max Verstappen's potential, but even when it comes to the present day, Max Verstappen is the best in the world. He even has the credentials to prove it. Max Verstappen is the #1 ranked racer in the Formula One championship table, although he's being closely trailed by Lewis Hamilton. With Hamilton being on the tail end of his career, some believe that the torch has already been passed and that Verstappen has officially surpassed Lewis Hamilton. That's certainly a big statement to make, considering very few people have ever come close to even competing with Lewis Hamilton. But When we take a look at their record in the 2021 season, Verstappen has been the better performer without a doubt. There are only 2 races that remain in the 2021 Formula One season, and it's going to be those 2 races that decide who the winner of the whole tournament will be. Verstappen has the odds in his favor since he already had 8 points on the living legend, but the end result is a lot more inconclusive than most of us are assuming. The final will be held in Abu Dhabi, which is undoubtedly a turf that Hamilton is more familiar with than Verstappen. If Verstappen can defeat Hamilton in Abu Dhabi of all places for a final race to decide it all nonetheless, he will officially become the undisputed best F1 driver in the world, if not a contender for the greatest racer of all time. He overcame the odds. Max Verstappen has this crazy ability to perform his best whenever the odds are stacked against him. For example, during the 2021 Russian Grand Prix, Max Verstappen was given a penalty for making an engine modification, which required him to start the race at the back of the grid. For any regular driver, this would have eliminated any chance for a good placement. But Max took that penalty as a challenge. Max quickly and swiftly started to overtake every single vehicle on the Sochi track. Despite starting the race in last place, he managed to finish the race in 2nd place, right behind his rival Lewis Hamilton. Despite being the runner-up, it was nothing less than a victory for Verstappen, as pointed out by Red Bull Racing. This would also be the final race in which Verstappen would be behind Hamilton on the leaderboard. Verstappen would go on to win 2 consecutive races after this one, becoming the top-ranked driver. This goes to show that even when put in an almost impossible-to-win scenario, Verstappen will do anything in his power to win. It's almost like he's made to win, and there's absolutely no power that can stop his wrath. His mental strength. If you were wondering how Verstappen manages to overcome the odds each time, it's because of how his brain works. Verstappen is incredibly calm and calculated in each race. He definitely doesn't show his age when it comes to maturity because Verstappen is always poised during all his races. Yes, he takes risks, but all of his risks are very calculated. It's extremely rare for Verstappen to make a wrong pit or make a critical mistake. It has happened in the past, but on extremely rare occasions. Ironically, the only time Verstappen does make mistakes, it's usually due to his competition with Lewis Hamilton, another racer known to be quick thinking on the track. Perhaps one of his biggest mistakes was when he collided with him during the 2021 Italian Grand Prix, for which he retired from the race and was penalized. He's carrying Red Bull. And finally, Max Verstappen has almost single-handedly carried Red Bull during the current season. That's not to say that Sergio Perez is a bad racer by any means. Perez actually scored a victory this season during the 2021 Azerbaijani Grand Prix, a race in which Verstappen retired, but when compared to Verstappen, no other racer even comes close. Verstappen is an asset for Red Bull. They care more about having Verstappen win the Drivers' Championship than they care about winning the Constructors' Championship themselves. To them, dethroning Lewis Hamilton is far more important than the championship. Verstappen and Perez are turning out to be an almost perfect team, though, and in the future, we might finally see Red Bull take Mercedes' long-held throne. That's a wrap for why Verstappen will be the best F1 driver ever. Do you think Max will improve even further? Let us know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.